Hey everyone, welcome to Ask Away Wednesday. We're going to answer all of your questions around data security and data governance and how Alter kind of fits into all of that. One of the interesting things that we do here is we work with a lot of data that's protected by laws and regulations, so PII, PCI, and PHI data. And my question to you, James, is what does it mean when you're moving those types of sensitive data, when you're moving those associated workloads into the cloud?
I think there's probably two major things that it means. The first is that you are probably looking to modernize your infrastructure, and you probably have years of legacy infrastructure spend that's helping you meet the requirements of the legislature and of the compliance and the privacy laws, Chris, that you're mentioning. And the second thing that it means is you're probably going to only get one or two chances to not screw this up. And so as you are thinking about migrating from on-prem to cloud, what people are learning is that you really have to think about investing again in kind of cloud-focused or cloud database-focused governance and security and compliance type tools. If you try to take maybe you had a database firewall or a database proxy that you bought from Imperva or something like that years ago, and you try to move that up in like some AWS VPC to sit in front of Snowflake, you're going to find out that you're going to have a bad time while you do that. So use this time as a chance to kind of modernize and kind of get ahead of a lot of the challenges that you're going to have if you try to move those legacy items up. I would really look for SaaS-based tools that are highly credentialed, such as Alter, to help you understand what data you have that is sensitive. So if you're moving terabytes of data up, which of the actual fields do fall into the PII, PHI, or PCI type of environment. And then have systems in place that not only can provide you with monitoring and alerting for how those data gets accessed, but also have some kind of security component to them as well, whether that's tokenization, whether that's data access rate limiting. And at the end of the day, going to the second point, you're really only going to get one or two shots at this. Is if you put data into the cloud and you suffer from some of the cloud misconfiguration woes that are thankfully starting to go down the decline, you will feel very comfortable knowing that you can clearly articulate to whomever is asking, whether they be an internal auditor, an internal assessor, or an external auditor, external assessor. You can tell them that you know accurately where your sensitive information is. You can point to it with your finger very quickly. You can prove who is accessing that data. So back to being able to show that you have correct business users with correct business purpose at accessing this data. And then you can prove that in the case of compromised credentials or compromised applications, that you are not at risk for complete loss or complete breach. So some DLP-like capabilities are in there. And that's really what we've strived to provide with Alter. When we made this platform SaaS-based, we wanted to make it comprehensive in that you would feel very comfortable using a tool like Alter to migrate data to the cloud, whether it's to a SaaS-hosted database like Snowflake or even into like an RDS instance of Microsoft SQL Server. But it's an opportunity for you to invest in tooling that's made for this new environment. Because of the way that the cloud prices, you need to also look for security and compliance and privacy tools that price along the same way. You don't want to be spending $1,000 on your cloud-hosted database, but then having to spend $400,000 on a security tool because that's just how the security tool prices. So this is an opportunity for you to probably reduce costs, improve efficiencies, and actually improve security is what we've seen, Chris.
Yeah, and I would say also just a couple of other things to think about. Because we're a SaaS tool, and we also have a ton of industry credentials around how we protect data and thinking about tokenization. We've got PCI credentials, SOC 2 Type 2 credentials, HIPAA credentials. You as a customer of Alter have a tremendous opportunity to leverage our credentials to take that PCI scope, out of kind of your problem domain and leverage our industry credentials to make that problem kind of go away for you. So we see a lot of that. And then the other thing I would say is, from my perspective, interacting with a lot of the customers, the PII and the PCI use cases and the PHI use cases, many times they're very repetitive. And so we have a team of application engineers who basically see every single enterprise customer, and they can help you. And we would happily talk to any of our customers about what we've seen in the field that works, what works quick, how to get into production really quick, because what you are also faced with inadvertently when you move this data to the cloud is a data modernization exercise. If you lift and shift workloads out of the data center and into the cloud, you will end up spending more in almost all cases. And so leverage our experience. That's the only other thing I would say about that. So really hope that answered that question. That was a really good one. And we will definitely be here next week to answer more questions. If you have any questions that you'd like to see on the segment, comment it below, and we will be here next week. Thank you.
Bye-bye.